And you lucky people have been listening to the New Music Alliance Radio Hour. And I'm Mark Sherry here this week with Toby Solaroche. And you just heard Pivot by Cheem. And we started out with Nick Vig doing Tired. So, Cheem, we just heard them pivot. And boy, I love the solid bass and drums in this song. That's what really grabbed me.
Yeah, this tune really, this song like pushes me. I feel like I would exercise to this track. Yeah, being described as like new pop or new metal, they're definitely very, genre bending, this project. And, some of the genres that they draw from are not necessarily things that I'm naturally drawn to, but I was really pulled in by this particular track and got me really excited. I think that the sort of the heavy synthy lines and the heavy nature of the song combined with almost like an emo poppy lyrical and vocal quality there. I don't know, it really stuck with me. It feels very well produced as well. Most recording and production and mixing apparently is done by this band at their headquarters, and this is their first single off of the record that they released back in 2025 here. But it was apparently the last song that actually got added to the track list, which is interesting because now it's track one. It's the first thing you hear on this new album. So, yeah, I'm excited to see more from Cheem. We actually know that they have a show coming up at the Drake in Amherst, Massachusetts, alongside The Missing Piece and Slow Degrade. And that's next Friday, January 30th, if you're curious to check them out in person. I bet they have a really cool live show.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add, I mentioned earlier that, I really was taken by the bottom end, the solid bass and drums. But what I thought was really cool is that the way they juxtapose the vocals, which are really sort of on the opposite, very high end. I think it's really effective, sort of like as a counterpoint to that really heavy, bottom end. I really like that approach. And I think that was really effective.
Yeah.
And they're out of the New Haven area, right?
They're based out of Hartford, Connecticut.
Hartford. Okay.
Is what I captured. I might be wrong about that, but that was what I saw.
All right. And we started out with a tune that basically has 3 million listens just on Spotify by Nick Vig called Tired. And Nick is originally from the Monroe, Connecticut area, which is a small town outside of New Haven, northwest of New Haven. I just really love this tune. You call it hip hop rap, melodic rap, whatever you want to call it. This is a quality tune. It's all about a guy who's had enough. You know, he
Yeah.
said, I ain't playing nice anymore. People who sort of, he feels just haven't treated him right, or people who he doesn't respect because of, what they've done in their lives. And just like people who he talks about who are just looking for approval, by doing things that, will get them likes and whatever, but don't really have anything, more to them other than that sort of veneer of of nothing. So he says, I don't want you anymore. I don't need you anymore. It's very personal, very personal.
Yeah. Yeah. The vulnerability really comes through, and I was drawn to it immediately. The message in the tune as well. There's a lot of things I could relate to. I mean, this track came out in 2019, and he's expressing this feeling of being tired. I mean, who amongst us isn't now in 2026 feeling just that much more tired about some of the stuff that we're seeing in the world and the way we're being treated, especially artists. And it's very hard to be an artist in this world. It's part of why we have this radio show going, because we need any opportunity to uplift the local music scene as much as we can and give light to the beautiful work that artists are doing. Who amongst us isn't feeling tired right now, though? This song is an important one for the age, and I think that's why it, since 2019, has built such a rapport, and it has, it's gone viral because it really does speak to something very true to in a lot of our hearts right now. And just so you know, Nick Vig he's an impressive dude. He's another example of someone who writes mixes, masters, and even distributes his music all by himself.
So, what do we have for our last block?
Ooh, this is a very special last block. So we're going to hear a song from a jam band that is very not jammy, from a band called Eggy. First, you can hear a song, Never Got to See, by a band called Mandala.